Real Country 1430 AM and 1073 FM WRDN. This is the WRDN Morning Farm Reports. I'm Brian Winnekins, and joining us this morning, Katie Schmitt, Communications Director with the World Dairy Expo, as we talk about this year's Expo. And thank you to Compeer Financial, Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, Anibis Silo, and Osteoplastics, along with Synergy Co-op, A&J Agronomy, and Wisconsin Farmers Union, our newsmaker sponsors. And Katie, thanks for joining us. Well, World Dairy Expo, we had talked with Dane County Executive Parisi about the proposal, and the Expo board has decided, okay, we're going to stay in Madison.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Brian. And we are staying in Madison, and that decision really was based on conversations that we were having and the assurance that we have in regards to how we can hold our event in Madison, and really not taking into consideration that contract extension that was proposed by Dane County earlier in the month.
Well, like that extension, though, I'm sure the Expo board's pretty happy that, okay, we're going to get a couple of years of not having to pay rent for the Alliant Energy Center especially because of after what happened last year with canceling Expo. Financially, it does help out Expo.
Well, that contract extension still is actually on the table, and those discussions are still taking place. So we have not signed that agreement yet, and still need to work through what that looks like and how we move forward with that. So, like I said, we're moving forward with the show in 2021 under the current contract that we have in place with the facility.
Is it obviously with the board and with the planning, committee, and you're part of all putting all this together, is there still some concern about, okay, we're gonna have it in Madison, and then all of a sudden in September, Dane County says, sorry, you can't have it. Is there a concern about that?
I don't think so. Like I said, the conversations that we've had with the county really have alleviated the questions and answered the questions that we had as an organization that gave us the confidence to move forward. And that's why we've decided to stay in Madison. Obviously, we know that Expo was contingency planning and looking at alternative venues, just to make sure that we could confidently move forward with a show wherever we needed that to happen at. Our goal was always to stay in Madison. We love the facilities at the Alliant Energy Center. They've kind of grown up with us, or we've grown up with them. And so our hope was to stay here, and we've just finally gotten that clarity that we were looking for in terms of the path forward to responsibly and safely host our show this fall.
Talking with Katie Schmitt. She's the communications director with World Dairy Expo. World Dairy Expo will be September 28th through October 2nd at the Alliant Energy Center. And so, Katie, are there going to be some things that we might see differently at this year's Expo, especially since we didn't have it last year?
There will be, yes. We've been hard at work planning for our comeback show in 2021 for the past year. So our staff is excited to see some changes in the trade show in terms of relocating some booths to a brand new redesigned trade center that opened up the arena building to become the Tan Bark, which is Expo's Bar and Grill. And the Tan Bark will now host actually morning keynote speakers during World Dairy Expo. And we are putting together plans to also introduce seminars in Spanish this year for our on-farm managers and mid-managers of dairies throughout the country.
Katie, you mentioned with some of the exhibitors, they're going to be moved around a little bit. Obviously, though, the outdoor part of this will continue, right?
It will, yes. There will still be exhibitors in the outdoor trade mall. Next to the outdoor trade mall has been the trade center historically. So that structure has grown to accommodate additional indoor space. And that's also where we've relocated the World Forage Analysis Super Bowl that takes place during World Dairy Expo and the Dairy Forage Seminar. So it's going to be a beautiful new structure. There's 2 full glass walls on it. There's doors that open, and really just this improved structure that our exhibitors have been asking for quite some time now. So we're excited to be able to offer that to them.
Talking with Katie Schmitt, communications director with World Dairy Expo. Katie, I know there's a lot of folks that like to come from overseas and other countries. Now those, there might be travel restrictions. So what's the expectations attendance wise? Is it going to be more of just a US type of show this year, even though it's World Dairy Expo?
We have absolutely no idea. We are still inviting our international guests. There are U.S. embassies that are open that are offering visa appointments to get international attendees over here. So we're excited to see some of them return. We do realize that likely there will be a smaller number of them, but luckily World Dairy Expo has some great virtual resources in place already in terms of Expo TV that live streams the Dairy Cattle Show, but also started live streaming the educational opportunities at World Dairy Expo a handful of years ago. So those platforms will continue. There's still some great resources online for our friends who are unable to travel this fall.
Cattle shows, do we expect a full, again, with the Canadian issue that we'll have to see what happens with the border and with the pandemic, but still looking for a pretty big show on the colored shavings?
We certainly are. Yes. There's going to be some great competition. There were spring shows taking place this week across the Midwest and the East Coast. So the cows are looking great. We're looking forward to them coming back to the colored shavings at Expo, of course. And yeah, we're going to play the waiting game and hopefully that border opens up to Canada and we can get those cows down here too.
And now folks will be able to continue to follow along with what's happening as well, just by going to the website, right? Give us that address.
Absolutely. The World Dairy Expo website is simply worlddairyexpo.com. That's a great resource for all of your news up to date with World Dairy Expo, as well as the list of educational opportunities that are at Expo, searchable lists for the commercial exhibitors that will be participating this fall, and just all of those attendee features that you want to know about as you plan for your trip. Those are also available on our mobile event app that's on the App Store and Google Play. And of course, we're active on social media. So lots of great resources to stay up to date on Expo as the year progresses over the next 6 months.
Well, I'm looking forward, excuse me, I'm looking forward to being out and about and again, back at Expo this year, looking forward to it. And we'll have more interviews and we'll keep stay in touch as well for down the road as we get closer to this year's Expo. Thanks, Katie.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Brian.
Katie Schmitt, she's communications director with World Dairy Expo. Again, World Dairy Expo, September 28th through October 2nd at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. You're listening to the WRDN Morning Farm Report.